Come onto your hands and knees for cat-cow. Spread your hands and fingers, have your hands shoulder distance apart and lengthen through your arms. Be in a neutral long spine here. Steady your breath and then start to tuck your pelvis under, round your back, bring your chin towards your chest, pull your waist up to the ceiling. Exhaling here. And then as you inhale, let the belly drop, lift your buttocks, shoulders back, lift your chest and look up. And then exhale into cat, tucking the buttocks down, chin to chest. And then inhale into cow, letting the belly drop down, buttocks lifting and spreading, chest opening, lift your collarbones, look up. And exhale back into cat. And keep going at your own pace, moving with your breath. And enjoy the journey into cat and the journey into cow, and enjoy the full expression of each pose. Be in your whole body as you go back and forth here, moving and breathing in a rhythm that feels right to you. See if you can feel yourself passing through neutral as you move from one to the other. And move your entire spine. So feel your pelvis and lower spine. Feel the lumbar, the thoracic, and the cervical spine all joining in for this experience. Steady breathing, steady movements, smooth and steady. And then come back to a neutral spine here. And take a breath in neutral. Now we'll practice downward facing dog with a chair. Please bring a chair over to the wall so the back of the chair is right up against the wall. Rest your hands on the edge of the seat of the chair and then step your feet back one at a time. Bend your knees, lift your buttocks. Pull the entire pelvis up and back away from the push of the hands, which are pushing onto the seat of the chair. Pull your outer hips back away from the wrists. Relax your head down. Pull your thighs back. Pull your inner thighs back especially. And create more length in the backs of the legs. You can start to straighten your legs, but just make sure that you're keeping your buttocks lifting. For you, that might mean that you stay with bent knees. Backs of the legs lifting and long, buttocks lifting and spreading. Pull your thighs back, pull your inner thighs back, pull your outer hips back, and enjoy this stretch and lengthening action of the trunk. Head relaxing down, arms very relaxed. Press your hands forward and down into the seat of the chair. Stretch through the elbows and the armpits. And release as you breathe. Be engaged and release any tension. Release tension in your spine. And then lean into the seat of the chair as you step your feet forward and stand up. Stand in mountain pose facing your chair seat. And then lift your left knee up and place your left foot on the chair seat and pull your right thigh back in space. This will pull your pelvis so it's back more over the arch of your right foot. Don't let your pelvis sink forward at all, but but pull your right thigh back in space and lengthen your spine. And then twist your belly and your rib cage to the left and place your right hand onto the outside of your left knee and stretch your left arm back. Pull the right front of the thigh back in space. Right front of the thigh towards the back of the thigh, and then lift your belly and twist more to the left. Lift up through the front of your entire spine and twist your rib cage and shoulders more to the left. Don't let your pelvis sink forward at all, but pull your pelvis back. And now untwist your body and place your left foot down on the ground, shoulders back, long spine. And lift your right knee up, place your right foot on the chair, hands on hips, and take your left thigh back in space. No sinking forward of the pelvis, but rather take the left front of the thigh towards the back of the thigh, so you're really standing over the left heel, more over the arch of the left foot and the heel, and then lift the belly and twist it to the right. Place your left hand on the outer right knee and reach your right arm back behind you to help you twist. Lift through the spine and twist a little more, the belly, the rib cage, the shoulders, and the head. And keep pulling the left thigh back, so there's no sinking towards the chair with the pelvis at all. Stand right over the left arch. It'll feel more like you're right over the left heel. Turn and twist a little more, lengthening up through the spine, and then come out of the twist and place your right foot down. Stand in Tadasana facing the front of the chair seat and place your left heel up on the chair. Make sure you're the correct distance from the chair so that you can stand tall with your trunk right above the right leg. And pull the right thigh back in space. Let the front of your trunk move back towards the back of your trunk and lift your arms up. Spread your fingers and your hands. Elongate through the legs. Press your shoulder blades forward and your thumbs back and pull the front of the right thigh back in space. Open the soles of the feet, open the toes. Lift your low belly up off your pelvis. And breathe here as you pull the right thigh back even more and lengthen your trunk right over that right thigh. And then lower your arms down and lower your left leg down. And then take your right heel up onto the chair seat. Start with hands on hips and pull the left frontal thigh back in space, which will pull your whole trunk back in space. So your trunk is really directly over that left arch. And then lift your arms up, spread the palms, spread the fingers, pull your thumbs back as you pull your shoulder blades forward to help open the chest. Lift the low belly, open the feet, extend through the knees, pull the left thigh back again. The thighs have enough internal rotation so that they're parallel, and lift the spine from bottom to top. Be radiant in your presence here, breathing deeply. And then lower your arms down, maintaining the length in your spine, and lower your right foot down. Now grab your blocks for a simple lunge and stand at the front of your mat with your feet together, thighs rolling in, thighs back, long spine, open chest. And bring your hands down onto the blocks and step your left foot back into a lunge. Bring your right knee directly over your right heel, so the knee should not be too much forward of the right heel. You might need to scoochie your left toes further back. Now lift the left thigh and pull the outer right thigh back into your hip. Squeeze your outer hips together slightly, and then elongate your spine, especially the front surface of the spine. Let your belly be buoyant. Let your hips be buoyant. Keep your back thigh lifting Be strong in your legs and fluid in your long spine here. And then step your back foot forward and step your right foot back into a lunge so that your left knee is directly over your left heel. And let your hips sink down, but only until your hips are about at the height of your front knee. Lift your back thigh, especially the inner back thigh. Stretch back through the back heel and stretch forward through your spine. Pull the outer left thigh back into the hip. Lengthen the abdomen. Be long in your arms. Be buoyant in your belly. Connect your outer body to the midline here. And then step your back foot forward. Bring your hands to your outer hips, lift your shoulders, and stand on up. Now have blocks and a blanket ready for a simple lunge with the knee down in the back. So set up your blanket, which will be the padding for your knee, and stand between your blocks in Tadasana. And then place your hands down onto the blocks and step your left foot back. Reach your left foot even further back. Long in your spine here, and first lift the back thigh up. Pull your outer right hip back towards the hip socket and gather your outer hips towards each other slightly. And then lower your back knee down to the blanket and untuck your back toes. Hands are still on blocks, long extended arms. Kick your back shin down into the ground and let that action reverberate with a lengthening of the front surface of the spine upwards. Let your sacrum move forward towards the front heel and elongate the sides of your body, elongate the right and left sides of the spine. Bend deeply in the front knee and enjoy the stretch at the front of the left hip. Let your shoulders move back slightly so that your chest is open, and lift the low belly up off the pelvis. Breathe here as you deepen the pose, coming deeper into the lunge. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back thigh, and step your back foot forward, and step your front foot back. Now the right leg is back. Lift your back thigh, energize your legs. Pull the outer left thigh back towards the hip socket and gather your outer hips in. Lift the belly and lengthen the spine. Reach your right foot further back and then lower the back knee down onto the blanket and untuck your back toes. Have a sense of kicking your back shin down into the ground. Let your pelvis come forward as you bend the front knee deeply. And again, pull the outer left thigh back towards the hip socket. Gather your outer hips together and lift the low belly and lengthen the front surface of the spine from the lower spine, through the lumbar, through the thoracic, all the way up through the cervicals. Breathe here as you deepen the pose. Deep lunge to stretch the front of the right hip, to stretch the groins. Imprint a long spine here. Imprint steady, smooth breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling And now tuck your back toes under, lift your back thigh, step your back foot forward, soften your knees, bring your hands to your outer hips, lift the shoulders, and come up with an open chest. Long extended legs and body here. Stand at the front of your mat between your blocks for a lunge twist. Fold forward over your legs, lower your hands onto the blocks and step your left foot back into a lunge. Right knee over right heel, lift your back thigh. Draw your femurs deep into the hip sockets. Gather your outer right hip in towards the midline. Lift the belly and lengthen the spine away from the reach of the back leg, which is reaching back. And now bring your right hand onto your belly and pull your belly up to the right to help you rotate and twist. And then reach your right arm up and reach the whole right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Turn the right ribs up towards the ceiling. Turn the left ribs underneath you. Squeeze the right thigh in towards the midline. Continue to lift the back thigh and even lift the back hip. And breathe here in a lunge twist, lengthening and extending. And then lower your right hand down, lengthen the spine forward and look forward. And then step the back foot forward. And now step your right foot back into a lunge. Left knee directly over the left heel. Keep the right thigh lifting, femurs into the sockets. Outer left hip gathering to the midline. Lengthen your spine here, stretch your back leg. And now bring your left hand onto your belly and start to turn and twist your belly up towards the ceiling. And then follow with your rib cage and your spine and even your head, turning, rotating to look up. Lift your left arm up, lift the left shoulder up, open the left ribs. Keep the right thigh lifting. Be buoyant under your right hip. Hug your left thigh towards the midline. Twist a little bit more. Extend the back leg. Extend through the arms. Be open and wide across the chest. And then lower your left arm down, coming back into a simple lunge. And step your right foot forward now. Hands to the outer hips. Lift the shoulders, elbows back, and then stand all the way up. Lay down on your back for a simple hip stretch. Knees bent, feet flat. Move the flesh of your buttocks away from your lower back. And relax here on the floor. Reach your arms overhead along the floor and lengthen out your trunk. Be in your feet. Be relaxed in your pelvis. Lengthen internally through the torso, through the cavity of the trunk. Get long and open there. And now cross your right ankle over the left knee. And open the right knee out to the side. And then bring your left knee in towards your chest. Reach through the hole with your right arm and reach around the other side of your left thigh with your left arm and grab the back of your left thigh with both hands. And then pull your left knee and your right ankle, of course, in towards your chest. Keep opening the right knee, pressing the right knee away from your torso. And breathe into the sensations. Breathe into your outer right hip. To make the stretch a little more intense, you can pull the left knee even closer in towards your body. Keep pressing the right thigh and the right knee away from your body. So there's an external rotation happening in that right thigh. Breathe here as you stretch. And then release and place both feet down onto the floor and cross the left ankle over the right knee. And let the left thigh externally rotate, which will open that left knee out to the side. And now reach your left arm through the hole. Reach your right arm around the right side and grab the back of your right thigh with both hands. Pull the right knee towards the chest. Reach the left thigh and left knee away from your chest. And breathe into the outer left hip. Breathe into the sensations. Breathe into the stretch. Stay long in your spine here, long in your trunk. Inhaling and exhaling here as you stretch. Press that left knee away from your body and feel that deep external rotation in the left thigh. You can pull the right knee a little bit closer in towards your chest to increase the stretch. Steady breath. And then release and place both feet down onto the floor. Stretch your arms out to the side. You'll be on your back now for a windshield wiper. Knees bent and feet flat, and walk your feet out wider so that your feet are on the very outer edges of your mat. Stretch your arms out to the sides at shoulder height. And then lower your knees down to the right. The feet will stay glued right where they are. Just the knees lowered down and down and down to the right. And enjoy this gentle twist. The right thigh is externally rotated and the left femur is internally rotated slightly. Resting here and breathing. And feel the way the femurs are doing different things in the hip sockets. And then inhale and lift your knees right up to center. And keeping your feet glued down, lower your knees over to the left side. And feel how your femurs relate to the hip sockets differently from each other. Now the left thigh is externally rotating in the socket, and the right femur is internally rotating in the socket. Relax and breathe length into your trunk. Keeping the feet glued down. Inhale your knees up to the center and then all the way over to the right side. And then breathe as you take your knees up to center and exhale your knees down to the left side. And then inhale your knees up to the right. And then up and to the left. And knees up and knees fall to the right. And knees up and knees fall to the left. So the feet aren't really moving at all. They're staying in the same position. And just keep going here, lowering the knees to the right and then the left. Smooth movement here to lubricate the hip sockets. And feel the way your femurs are relating to your hips as you move, as you breathe. As you relax and lengthen the spine, as you relax into the floor, and then come up to center. And now stretch your legs out, roll your thighs in, extend your legs fully, open the feet and the toes, and reach your arms overhead along the floor. Stretch through your armpits, your elbows, your hands, and your fingers. Create energy and length through the arms and through the legs. And breathe up and down your entire body, creating length. Be long and relaxed in your abdomen. Breathe into your rib cage. Roll those thighs in and stretch your legs more. Stretch your arms more. Pull your rib cage towards your arms and pull your hips towards your legs, and let your lower back receive that stretch. Breathing here. Be very active here. And then lower your arms down, bend your knees and feet flat. Have a strap nearby now for Supta Padangustasana 1. Knees bent and feet flat on the floor, relaxed pelvis. Move your buttock flesh away from your low back, and then stretch your arms overhead along the floor and lengthen your trunk and your arms. Allow your pelvis to be neutral here, not tucking or arching. And keeping your pelvis in neutral, bring your right knee towards your chest and loop the strap over the right heel. And now extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Let the leg be at 90 degrees in relation to the floor. You don't have to pull your leg close to your face at all. Reach the right heel straight up so the leg is perpendicular to the floor, and then internally rotate the left leg and stretch the left leg out along the floor. Bend your elbows, lengthen your spine, slide your shoulder blades down your back, and think of the center of your right thigh pressing away from the abdomen, so the right side of your abdomen has a lot of space. You don't want that right hip to hike up and shorten the right waist, so pull your outer right hip down away from the right waist. Stretch the back of your right leg up towards the ceiling and ground the center of your left thigh down towards the floor. Internally rotating that left leg, lengthening the left leg. Reach long through that left heel, and then lengthen your spine away from the left leg. Elbows wide, side ribs long, abdomen relaxed and long, pelvis in neutral if possible. Try not to tuck in your pelvis. And then bend your right leg, bend your left leg, release the strap, and rest in neutral. Reach your arms overhead. Lengthen the right and left sides of your trunk evenly, and then bend your left knee into your chest. Lasso the left heel with your strap and stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling. Lengthen the back of the left leg, lengthen your trunk, and then internally rotate that right thigh as you stretch the right leg out. Open the feet and the toes. Bend the elbows wide. Keep the chest open, shoulder blades sliding down the back along the mat. Lengthen the backs of your legs and pull the outer left hip down away from the waist, so that left upper thigh and that left hip are not crowding the left side of the abdomen or the waist at all. And press the center of your right thigh down towards the ground. Let the top portion of that left leg move away from the left side of the abdomen and stretch the left heel up and stretch the right heel long away from you and pull the spine long away from the reach of the right leg. Elbows wide, chest open, backs of the knees opening. Breathe length into your body, inhaling and exhaling here. And now bend both knees, remove the strap, stretch your arms overhead, lengthen your belly, lengthen your trunk, rest your pelvis, rest your legs with feet flat. And then roll over to your side. Let your head come up last and come up to sit. Have a bolster and a strap ready for a variation of supported fish. Have your back to the horizontal bolster And release your buttock flesh away from your lower back. And then lay back over the bolster so the bolster is supporting your rib cage. Think of the bolster being right underneath your shoulder blades, and stretch your arms up and overhead with the strap in your hands at about shoulder distance apart. Knees are bent, feet are flat. And when you feel steady and stable here, then you can start to release and lengthen your legs. Create length in your whole body. Relax and release into the support of the bolster and enjoy this supported extension of your spine. Let the thighs be heavy. Let the abdomen be long and relaxed. And give some energy to your arms and legs to extend and lengthen the limbs, to lengthen through the elbows and the knees. Release and relax the muscles of your back and your neck. See if you can breathe into your rib cage, breathing really into the lungs. Open the soles of the feet, open the toes. Relax and release as you lengthen here. Steady inhale, steady exhale. And now one at a time, bend your knees, bring your feet flat, and slowly roll over to your right side. And then come up to sit.